two great chefs at our table today, Chef Guillaume Gomez and Chef Gilles Marx. It's really an honor for me to be here with you guys. So first of all, I want to ask Chef Gilles, Disciples Escoffier Indonesia actually is holding an event, and what kind of event, if you can talk about it a little bit?
So today is what we call a chapitre. So meaning it's one of the special event in the year where we induct new members.
Okay.
So today we inducted 10 new members, and after this induction, we'll have the dîner d'épicure, the traditional dîner d'épicure with a small cocktail before, and the dîner d'épicure that follows. But it happens usually only once a year. Or twice a year. Sometimes we do one in Jakarta and one in Bali. But it's a very particular event today. Yes.
Ooh, nice, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys. Okay, so can you please tell us what is Disciples Escoffier in a nutshell?
The Disciples Escoffier is probably one of the oldest chef association in the world. It's been there for more than 70 years, and it's basically comes from Chef Auguste Escoffier, who was a very famous chef in the turn of 19th to 20th century, and was very well known because of his organization skills of a kitchen, and the way he also write this famous cookbook that had all the traditional, all the classic cuisine in it, and helped to organize our industry. And actually, until today, we still following this organization he put in place over 160 or 170 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing. So how does it relate to people in Indonesia?
For people in Indonesia, every time they go to a restaurant or what we call a la carte restaurant, is thanks to Auguste Escoffier. He's the one who invented a la carte service. Because in those days it was very complicated to serve everybody at one time and different dishes. He made the different sections in the kitchen where we have a garde-manger, cold section, a hot section, a fish section, roastery. So all the food can come out together and everybody can be served together. So if we have it today, it's a little bit thanks to Auguste Escoffier, who made all this possible already 170 years ago.
So I would say that he's also like a pioneer in the French cuisine and also
not only French cuisine, but modern cuisine in general.
Oh, cool. Okay. So talking about Disciples Escoffier Indonesia, what kind of programs do you guys have, and like what are the benefits?
Actually, our programs are simple. We're here to transmit our knowledge because we're all seasoned chefs in the Escoffier group, but we organize also cooking competitions for young chefs, so they can train. We train them and we show them. There's a national selection, then there's a Asia selection, and then we have the final world selection. So we take the best, all over the world, so they can see different things all over the world. And of course, it's dinners. We organize dinners for the public to see what we do, to learn about French cuisine, classic cuisine, and also modern cuisine. And we always have a charity also during our events. So we also give back to the community and back to organizations.
Okay, cool. Now that you said you would train them, then maybe I would apply for it. Okay, now sitting here with us is Chef Guillaume Gomez.
I was chef in the Élysée Palace. The Élysée Palace is the house of the President of Republic of France, and now I'm ambassador for the French gastronomy around the world and personal representative of the President de la République, what we call French President de la République, President of France. And I'm here in Jakarta. It's my first time in Indonesia, in Jakarta, for support the association Disciples Auguste Escoffier, for support the values, for support the dinner and the action of the member of this association. This association it's in more 30 countries in the world, and it's very important for the
showcasing
for the rayonnement de la gastronomie.
Yes.
How's your French? No,
It's really bad. Bonjour is all.
This association is very important for the French gastronomy, for the gastronomy, for transport.
We showcase the French gastronomy and what we do all over the world.
The products, the valeurs, the techniques, and transmission for the young chef around the world.
That's cool. Okay, so that's a very incredible job you're having.
Yeah.
But apart from what you are known as an ambassador for French cuisine or just as the personal representative of your French president, who is the real Guillaume Gomez?
Ah, it's me.
Can you give us an insight of who you really are?
I'm chef, of course. I start in the kitchen when I was 14, and after 30 years in the kitchen, every day, every hour, yes, I have a new project for my job life, and the French President Emmanuel Macron proposed me to this new job, the French ambassador for the gastronomy. I am. I don't know if you know this competition, best craftsman of France, what we call in French, meilleur ouvrier de France. I was the youngest in the history. I was at 25 when I win the competition, and now my job is to promote the gastronomy, the French language too, for the francophonie, and the value of France around the world. Because if a lot of things divide, the good table and the gastronomy
brings people together.
Bring people together.
And the value of France, liberté, égalité, and fraternity is also a world values, not only French values, but can be values for everyone.
And gourmandise.
French-dominated interview. Okay, let's insert some Indonesian in there. Okay, cool. Thank you for your answer.
No, thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah. So, what is like the most and the least interesting part about your job? Because it's very cool.
I think the most interesting is meeting everybody around the world, meeting a new society, a new products, a new cuisine, and maybe the least it's what we call in French décalage horaire, jet lag. When you have a lot of jet lag, you know.
Oh, jet lag.
Jet lag, yes.
Okay.
Spending a lot of time in the planes.
Okay. Yeah.
Plane, train, horse, car.
I know, it must be very exhausting for you. Yeah, but I hope you have that thing well with our time here in Indonesia.
It's a big travel for me because I stay here maybe 8 or 9 days. 9 days.
Yeah.
So
9 days.
9 days in Bali. Thank you very much.
Okay, so tell me about a time when, because you're the personal representative of the French president, right? Tell me about a time when you created a dish, but he didn't like it.
Never, because if I do that, I'm not here today.
Oh, okay. So that's a good thing to know.
25 years with the president, you can do mistake. It's not possible. You know, we do when you are chef for the king or for the president, you doesn't make your food. You make the food qu'ils attendent.
Yeah, you make the food that they expect.
Yeah.
They want you to do. Because you represent France. You don't represent. He doesn't represent himself.
Yeah.
He represents France and what the president expects to be represented.
The president and the guest too.
The guest.
Yeah, and the guest, right? Wow,
if you come in France to eat with the president, you expect French food and good food.
Yes, definitely.
French products.
Right.
With French products.
Okay.
And French wine and French bread. And
okay. French everything.
French caviar, French truffles, French sugar, French...
Okay. So, do you happen to know about Indonesian cuisine?
Just, I arrived just yesterday. And this morning, I test the famous Indonesian breakfast. With nasi kuning, and the rice,
lumper,
very good. Nasi kuning, very tasty, very good. And after I eat pain au chocolat, but from Indonesia.
Oh, it's so
wonderful,
good.
so good, very good.
I'm happy you love our cuisine.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's a for me it's not a discovery because we have Indonesian food in France or in USA, but it's not the same. It's not really the same.
Yeah.
And
This is like your
yes,
first
yes,
thing.
yes. And now it's my first real day
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Indonesia.
Yeah, I would love to let you try our
Yeah.
Jantan Pasar as
Yeah.
well.
In 10 days, I can
Try a lot more
Yeah,
Indonesian
I
food,
love it.
for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
very spicy.
Okay.
I think very spicy, but
spicy.
very good.
Yeah. Okay. Now that actually many people think highly of French cuisine, it is seen as the best in the world. What is your opinion about that? And does it hinder you from learning from other cuisines?
When you learn cuisine or patisserie around the world, you learn French cuisine or French patisserie because it's not just a good dishes, it's the real good technique for all the cuisine in the world. If you need learn Asian cuisine, if you need learn Mexican cuisine, if you need learn I don't know another cuisine, if you learn French cuisine, you have a good technique for learn other cuisine. I think it's like that we have an hegemony for the gastronomy around the world. It's not only the French say we are the first cuisine. It's all the country say the first cuisine in the world is the French cuisine.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the techniques we developed, and also the early, we started from the very early to write books and how to use these techniques. That's why a lot of other countries refer to French
Yes.
techniques also.
Yeah.
Because we are the first one to put them on paper.
Yeah.
And maybe they were used in other places before, but we're the first one to put them on
Yeah.
paper, and that's why people refer to them as a French technique.
When you maîtrise this technique, this French technique of the gastronomy, after in your country with your history, with your product, you adapt and you do your kitchen, your cuisine.
It doesn't have to be French, but you can use French
Technique,
technique to
yeah.
do Indonesian food, and it will help,
Okay.
of course, to.
So French technique, French cooking technique is actually one of the biggest contribution it has given to the world. You would say that.
Yes, I
Okay,
think.
cool. Okay, I did learn a few. Sous vide, confit.
Yes.
I'll leave it to these two.
Voilà.
Not bad, right? Yeah. Okay, so
In the world, when you talk about gastronomy
Mhm.
and diplomacy,
Mhm.
you speak French.
Oh.
Chef, plein,
Yeah.
brunoise, soufflé, all the name is French name.
Éclair,
Éclair,
Éclair.
macaron,
macaron, it's all
Millefeuille.
French. Millefeuille.
Yeah.
salade.
Salad. Okay, cool. Okay, now before we wrap up, there's this last question that I want to ask you. So, from your very interesting and very impressive, actually, like life journey, as who you are, like, what has it taught you? What is like the best life lesson you have learned that you can pass on to the audience? Okay?
Every day you learn. When you are chef, you are very, very curious. You test, you meet another chef, another producer, another I don't know what.
You talk about techniques, you talk about food, you talk about products.
Yes,
you talk
a new cocktail, a new salad, a new dressing, a new. Every
Okay.
day you discover the world, you discover the food.
Okay.
Donc,
Okay. Thank you very much.
you're very welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we are so happy to have you on and to be at our table.
Thank you.
We'll see
Thank
you
you
on
very
another
much.
episode.
Bye.
Bye.